Hello everyone. Today is day 2 of DSA problem solving challenge, and today I have done a problem which is 88 from Leet code, which is merge sorted arrays. The problem is like this. You are given a two integers array nums1 and nums2 sorted in non-decreasing order, and two integers m and n representing the number of elements in nums1 and nums2 respectively. Here we have two arrays nums1 and nums2 which is sorted in non-decreasing order, and the number of elements in that array is m and n respectively. Number of m elements in nums1 and number of n elements in nums2, and we have to merge nums1 and nums2 into single array sorted in non-decreasing order. We have to arrange the elements of nums1 and nums2 in non-decreasing order. The final sorted array should not be returned by the function, but instead be stored inside the array nums1. The final result what we are getting, we have to store that answer in nums1 itself only. To accommodate this, nums1 has a length of m plus n, where the m elements denotes the elements that should be merged, and the last n elements are set to 0 and should be ignored. Nums2 has a length of n. Here we have m plus n elements in nums1, where m elements is of nums1 and n elements of nums2. We have to arrange or merge them so that it will store all the elements in nums1 itself only. So let's move on to the logic. Without wasting much time, let's understand the logic. Here we have two arrays. Array A is having three elements, which is denoted by m equals to 3, and array B is also having three elements, which is denoted by n equals to 3. We have to store these two elements or these two array elements into a one array. So here we are going for logic. Here we have array A, array B. So array A index 0 is having value 1 and array B having index 0 value 2. So we will compare these two value. Comparing two value, this value is smaller than this. So this remains the same in A. Then we move to the next. After that we will compare these two values. If this value is lesser or greater than this, then if this value is less, we will enter this in the array. Now we will move next. We increase the value of index. After this we will compare this and this. After comparing this value is less, so this value must be entered over here. So this will remains over here itself. Now we will increase the value of this index. Now comparing these two values, 3 is smaller, so we enter 3 over here. So this array is over. Now remaining elements will be stored over here. So this is the logic. One logic. The time complexity of this logic is big of n plus m, and space complexity is big of 1. But we have one more logic. Here we will start from the last index, comparing the last index of the arrays. So all the logics. So this is the array A, which has 3 empty space. This is the empty space. So total space we are having here is m plus n, and index is m plus n minus 1. So here we are comparing these elements or these arrays. Talking about the comparison, we will start from the end of the array. So here we have given the indexing I, and here we have given the indexing j. By comparing these two elements, this value is higher, so higher will be stored at the last space. So this element will be stored over here. We have compared array of I which is less than b of j. So b of j is stored over here. Then moving to the next, we will check this with this. 3 is lesser than 5, so 5 will be stored over here, and index will be minus minus, and j is also minus minus. After this we will compare the next elements. We will compare 2 with 3. 2 is smaller than 3. So 3 will be stored over here. We have crossed this element. Now moving ahead, we will compare 2 with 2. So 2 is equal to 2. So we will store these elements over here. And after that this array is empty. So we will store all the elements over here. Talking about the pseudocode, we have 3 pointers: index, I and j. And the index is given as m plus n minus 1, I is given as m minus 1, j is given as n minus 1. Here we will use while loop. We will check the condition. If I greater than equals to 0 and j greater than equals to 0, then only we will enter into this loop. And we will check the condition. If a of I is greater than b of j, then we will store the value of a of I into the a of index. And we will decrement the value of index and I minus minus. In the else loop, we will store the value of b of j in the place of a of index, and we will decrement the value of index and j. What if all the elements of I will be stored and the elements of j remains over there? Then we will use the while loop. In this, we will directly store the value of b of j over value of a of index. Here we will decrement the value of index and j. So this is the logic behind this. Now we will move on to the code. So we have already done with the logic part. Now we will move to the coding part. So आइए देखिए. So in coding part we have used 3 pointers or 3 variables. Here 3 pointers are like this: index, I and j. Index is denoted by m plus n minus 1. I is denoted by m minus 1 and j is denoted by n minus 1. Here we will use while loop, which is having condition I is greater than equals to 0 and j is greater than equals to 0. In entering this loop, we have two conditions: if and else. First we will check if condition. If nums of 1 of I is greater than nums of 2 of j, then we will enter the value of nums of 1 of I inside the indexing part. We will move to the else. Here we are having nums of 2 of j, which is entered inside nums of 1 of index. If all the elements of I are stored and j's are remains? Here we will use while loop, which store all the values of second array inside the 1. So here we have done with the coding part. Thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.